It's the Go Gopher Podcast with Mike Grimm, episode number 159. I am Mike Grimm, voice of the Golden Gophers, and welcome back to the podcast. This week's podcast comes to you from Los Angeles, California, where the Golden Gopher men's basketball team pulled off a road upset at USC on Saturday afternoon, winning 69-66. Minnesota got a Gopher career high from senior guard Lu'Cye Patterson of Minneapolis. He led the way on Saturday with 25 points. He's been red hot of late, and the Gophers are now 5-3 in their last 8 Big Ten games. They've got another big game here in the Golden State with a matchup against UCLA on Tuesday night at 9:30 at Pauley Pavilion. Episode 159 comes to you from the Beverly Hills Marriott, where the team's staying right now, and we'll talk with Lu'Cye Patterson this week, and he'll be on the show. Our Go Gopher podcast is presented by alumni-owned Sunbelt Business Advisors and True North Mergers and Acquisitions. If you're a business founder planning to exit your business, start by contacting Sunbelt Business Advisors and True North Mergers and Acquisitions. Sunbelt serves more businesses up to $5 million in revenue than anyone, and True North M&A serves companies with revenues up to $150 million. Get it confidential, no cost, no obligation business valuation started today. Hey, make the most of your life's work. Visit sunbeltminnesota.com or tnma.com today. And our thanks to True North leader Brian Slipka for joining us as a sponsor for yet another year of the Go Gopher podcast. Affinity Plus Federal Credit Union's also a big sponsor of the Go Gopher podcast. Life math is complicated, and Affinity Plus Federal Credit Union makes it easier with local financial experts available to help in person or virtually. Go to affinityplus.org/Go Gophers for all the info. We also want to thank Affinity Plus for their ongoing support of Golden Gopher student athletes, as Lu'Cye Patterson will get a Visa gift card courtesy of Affinity Plus for his appearance this week on episode number 159. Thanks again to the great folks at Affinity Plus Federal Credit Union. The Go Gopher podcast is also presented by OnX Maps. Find out how to download the OnX Fish app for free by listening to the Go Gopher podcast. We're podcasting episode 159 from the Aquarius Home Services studio. We invite you to subscribe to the Go Gopher podcast. It's free to do so. You can go back and listen to previous Go Gopher podcasts as well. Last episode, for example, we talked to brand new Gopher baseball coach Ty McDevitt, an absolutely compelling conversation. His team opened the season this past weekend. They got him a win in his first career game at Houston. Go back and have a listen to that one. This week, we're talking Golden Gopher basketball from the Golden State, California. Senior guard Lu'Cye Patterson will join me next.
I'm Clay Geary, walk-on turned scholarship wide receiver for Gopher football.
And I'm Ben Utek, U of M alumni, Super Bowl champion, and Tony Dungy Uncommon Award winner.
We understand championship culture, which is why we're part of the True North family of companies.
True North invests in only elite teams, like the champion team at Sunbelt Business Advisors, Minnesota's largest seller of companies. To learn more about True North and our diverse family of independently owned companies, visit TrueNorthEquityPartners.com.
Keep the good times rolling without the regrets. Giggly THC beverages are your go-to for bold flavor and smooth vibes. Zero alcohol, no bad decisions. Just THC-infused cocktails, seltzers, and teas packed with natural ingredients and performance-boosting superfoods like ashwagandha and ginseng. Find Giggly at over 500 locations like Total Wine, MGM, and Cub Foods, or shop online at giggly.com. That's Gigli.com. Ready to upgrade your drink game? Use the code Giggly North, as in Giggly Talk North. Giggly North, Gigli North, for 50% off your first order. Giggly, sip smarter, feel better.
It's episode 159 of the Go Gopher podcast. We're coming to you, I'm not making this up, from Beverly Hills, California, which is pretty cool. The Gophers are on their West Coast trip. You bring 4 teams from the West into the Big Ten. That offers some unique travel opportunities, and the Gophers got a nice win Saturday over USC. They've got UCLA coming up on Tuesday night. One of many stars of the game in that Saturday win over USC was Lu'Cye Patterson, a Gopher career-high 25 points. He's from Minneapolis, had a great high school career and then a trek through a couple of different stops at the college level, and now here in your final year, You're a Golden Gopher, and it looks like stuff's really clicking for you right now. Good to see you. Thanks for coming on.
Yeah, appreciate you for having me. Appreciate it.
Let's talk about that game Saturday, and then we've got all kinds of stuff we can talk about here in the podcast. Well, no, let's do this first. How cool is it to be out in California as part of a basketball trip?
Oh, it feels better than being in Minnesota right now. So looking at the weather, I heard it was like -3 back home. So it feels good to, see some nice weather right now.
Yeah, I was out today a little bit. I know you guys, as we talk on this podcast, we're recording this Sunday night here in California. The game is Tuesday. The Gophers won on Saturday. The Tuesday game is UCLA. So you guys, it's a business trip, but you did get a little bit of fun in today, it sounds like. Take me through what you guys got to do today.
Our weight lift coach, he took us to do some stretching by the beach, a little yoga stuff. Got to walk around, went to a couple stores, went to Nike, just to see what the little city the beach had to offer. Then after that, we went to I forgot what it was called, something Drive, but it has Bodeo Drive, where it has a whole bunch of cool stores that's really expensive, and then you see a whole bunch of foreign cars or cool cars people drive around. So it was a cool experience. I think this was my first time ever being, in Beverly Hills. So it was just cool all around to see stuff like that.
Yeah, Rodeo Drive is a pretty cool. I walked it today too a little bit, and it's like every third store is they're selling purses or bags. I think Louis Vuitton has 7 different stores along that way. But you're right. There's Porsches, there's Lamborghinis, there's Corvettes. I did see a Kia today driving there, so it's not.
That's rare.
I say that because I drive a Kia, so I felt like, man, if I was driving my car here, I'd be a little out of place. And then I did see a Kia and a Hyundai driving there. And it's cold back home, so this is kind of fun to be out here for sure. All right, so we got that out of the way, and the team, because traffic is so weird and so hard here, and all the Big Ten teams kind of do this. The game, we got in here Friday, stayed in one place, played the game Saturday, and then to get closer to UCLA, so you're closer on Tuesday's game. Here we are in Beverly Hills because it's a little closer, so pretty cool. All right, let's talk about that USC game. Pretty interesting game, right? You guys in the first half were hanging in there, and then all of a sudden they hit 3 threes in a row, and you're down 14. You go on a 7-0 run and cut it to 7. They go on a 7-0 run and get it back to 14, and everyone's going, uh-oh, what's going on here? I forget what it was. Was it 9 at halftime, I want to say? Yeah. They stretched it to a 10-point lead. At that point, what are you guys thinking as a team? Let's talk about maybe at halftime. You're down 9. You were down 14 earlier, as we mentioned a couple of times. So what maybe was the discussion like in the locker room at halftime?
For me, just going out with 2 fouls, knowing that I was kind of playing aggressive. I know I was, getting downhill, and I was getting in my groove kind of in the first half. And then, you got to sit with 2 fouls. That kind of sucks. But me just hoping the guys, they stuck it together, kept it under, double digits. So, just that we're saying we're down under double digits at somebody else's place when I felt like they could have opened it up, and it could have got real ugly. But, just knowing that they were going to cool off and our defense is going to pick up our intensity. I feel like we're more of a second-half team than a first-half team. So, just trying to make it our type of game where it's kind of ugly, gritty, and them, those nail-biter games. I feel like that's the ones we like to play in. It showed a lot this year. But, yeah, just, to stand together. I feel like this crew, we never wavered yesterday. We stuck together, and, we got a tough one. So,
for you personally, as you're starting to have some of that success getting downhill, and you're now coming off, I think the last 3 games, you're averaging 21 points. You went 25 on Saturday, 24 last Saturday against Illinois, and then 14 in the win at Penn State. As that game is unfolding on Saturday, what was your mindset to be aggressive offensively and finding success?
Yeah, just knowing how important I am to this team, and just me now kind of coming into my own. This is a tough league, to find a way, but I feel like that's what I'm doing right now, and better late than never. So I feel I just got to keep being aggressive, keep trying to be a leader to my teammates, and dragging guys along, and just as being an older veteran guard, just trying to do anything in my power just to keep this season rolling, and playing our best basketball coming down February to March. So.
With this stretch now, too, where you guys, in the last 8 Big Ten games, you're 5-3, right? You start 0-6, and now you're on a pretty good run here, including in that stretch 3 road wins now at Iowa, at Penn State, and then Saturday at USC, and another road game coming up here as part of this trip. You mentioned that maybe there was a transition. The Big Ten's a little bit different. Take me through that transition from maybe the start of the year, and not just you personally, but as a team, because you had a whole bunch of new guys. What do you think over the course of navigating through that transition has started to click for you first, and then two, maybe as you guys as a team?
For me, I don't know, I was talking to Coach Kemp today actually about that. He's just telling me, just play my game and, just be who I am, and I feel like, in the beginning, it's a lot of nerves, I'm a hometown kid, it's a lot of expectation for me. So it kind of played a role, but I know that I know who I am, and I feel like now it's kind of coming to the light, first couple of games, was playing through some injury, so, it kind of messed with my confidence a little bit, with my shoulder and a bruised chest cage, or, I think it was, something like that. And, kind of messed with my confidence a little bit in the beginning of the season. So it was hard to kind of get in a groove and a feel. And, I'm not the type of guy just to, sit down. So I'm going to kind of try to play through it. That was kind of like a little mental block for me. But now, just getting into a couple more of these games, and, we're in probably 14 Big Ten games.
Yeah. Right.
I'm real comfortable now. I just feel like it's my last year, and it's I just feel like I just gotta something just clicked where it's just like you just gotta put it all out there. So no matter don't be scared to fail. Just telling myself that, and watching a lot of actually Kobe clips, of him saying things like that, like not being scared to fail, and just go out there and trust your work.
Two-part follow-up then on that. As you go through that transition, you talk about you're playing at home. Now, you did that in high school, obviously, but there is a little difference in terms of the interest level, right? Now, all of a sudden, you're in your home city playing for the University of Minnesota in the Big Ten. Was that an adjustment, too? I mean, I'm sure it's awesome to have family and friends there, but now everybody's watching. People you don't know are watching, too, exactly, right? And commenting on whatever it might be. Fact. So how much did that take getting used to?
Yeah, from being away from home for 4 years, not seeing my family consistently for 4 years, definitely it's just nerves, just want to do good for them, you want to put on for, your city. And, the first couple of games, it was just, a couple bumps, not that I was playing bad. It was just, it was, going to take some time to get used to, and really get comfortable here. And, it was, just a lot of nerves and, nothing that I couldn't, get through. But, like I said, with the bad comes the good. I'm happy to be here, that I get to play in front of my family for, my last year, and, happy to be around them and spend, a full year with them. I haven't did that in 4 years. So, I'm just, cherishing all these moments, even now, just them getting to watch me on TV and stuff like that. So, from where I'm from, a lot of kids don't get to do that or, get them type of chances. So.
Yeah, and you mentioned something in that previous answer, too. So part two of the follow-up on that was you mentioned that at some point you just said, what the heck, right? You're just, let's go out and play. And it looks to me, my observation has been that that's what you guys have kind of done. Like you're sitting there, 0-3, 0-4. And then at some point you're just like, to heck with this. Let's just go play physical. I mean, you guys have been so much more physical, it seems, during this stretch of 8 games where even off the ball, right, you're clutching and grabbing, playing like Purdue would play, playing like Michigan State plays physically. Was there a point where you guys just kind of threw your hands up and said, let's just go play?
Yeah. It was, like, it's, everybody's coming from, it took some time, for this team to click just because, people coming from different systems and different, we got to learn people's tendencies, and we don't got that much time for, it's not like we going to be together for 2-3 years, but like, we're starting to figure that out, and it's starting to, we're figuring that out, and then on top of that, playing more physical and with more edge, I mean, it's just, a good thing that we're coming together right now, so it just feels like our chemistry is getting there, all the way. So
and it looks too like there's, depending on matchups, depending on how games go, depending on foul issues, whatever, that you've got some different guys. You look at what Brennan did out at Penn State. You look Saturday at what Frank Mitchell did. His best game certainly as a Gopher with a double-double. Femi has had different games where he's starred in different ways. He had 18 down in Iowa City. I thought Saturday his defense was unbelievable, forcing turnovers where he might not even got credit for the steal, but it was his activity that maybe forced stuff. So it looks like everybody kind of on the roster starting to mesh a little bit too.
Yeah. Oh yeah, definitely. All guys are starting to play their role. People starting to find their role. Like I said, it just took a long time, but better late than never. So just guys just knowing their role, and just if we could keep the same intensity and the edge that we have right now, and people just playing their role, it's a bright future for us. So
you guys are sitting there that second half of the Wisconsin game, right? Nobody had fun in that. Mm-hmm. You guys have that post-game meeting, and then you play, I think, a really good game down at Maryland.
Yeah.
And now you're thinking, okay, look, we're getting a little better. And then you get the win against Michigan. Mm-hmm. And Michigan's just sitting here with 2 losses. You guys hung one of those 2 on them. What was that night like for you in your home city? You scored 20 points in that game, and a couple of guys with over 23, right? 3 players over 20 in that game. What was the emotion there, and was that kind of the catalyst to flip this whole thing?
Yeah, it was, definitely just to get that monkey off our back. Like Femi's my roommate, so we talk about this all the time. Where it's like, we got our little schedule on our refrigerator, and we're like, we're on set, but we good, like we right there, you can feel it. And we'd be like, yeah, okay, we could get this one, we can get this one. And then when we went on that 3-game winning streak, that's all we talked about, So it was just like before that game, it was a good feeling in the air to me. Felt like the energy was right. Everybody had their minds right. So going into that Michigan game, it was just like, yeah, it's time, and everybody felt that. So, and I feel like I have a one-up on Dusty May. So, me getting to play him from last year at Charlotte, kind of he started my 8-game win streak at Charlotte when they was ranked 17th at FAU. So.
He was there, and you guys beat him at Charlotte.
Yeah. Nice. So we started an 8-game win streak off that. So I credit Dusty May every time I play him. Yeah.
When your guy Dawson Garcia hits the shot, mm-hmm. right, to win it from wherever it was, 40 feet, that play was started with you, and there was a little bobble on the inbound. Mm-hmm. So walk me through, as that play unfolded, kind of where your mind was going, knowing you had to hurry but don't lose the ball, mm-hmm. and then all of a sudden your guy's there for the pass.
Yeah, really just trying to be the most poised I could be, just knowing it's 5, 6, 7 seconds. It's a lot of time. So my mindset is just to get to the rim, try to draw a foul or, get something at the rim where people can crash, get a tip in, or, that's always my thing. And Dawson, when I got past half court, I was just hearing him like, yo, Kai. Like, he was saying at the other end of the baseline, he's like, Kai, come on, hey, swing. I'm trailing. I'm like, all right. Like, I'm hearing him, but I'm like, I'm still trying to, can I get to the basket? Is there any lanes? And he was just like, Kai, come on, Kai, trailer. So I'm like, all right. So I kind of go middle. And I'm like, okay, well, there's no space for me to, get through or anything. I'm going to have to just shoot a shot. And I seen him wide open. I kind of, lined the laces up for him. And I was like, okay, here. Like, I gave him probably the most perfect pass I could give him. So he lined it up, and he made that. And I was like, yeah, he called that from the other baseline.
He was calling it for you. And he said when he let it go, I remember talking to him in the post-game interview on the radio, he said the second it left his hand, he's like, I knew it was in.
Yeah. Yeah,
you had a good view of it. Did you think it was going?
Yeah, definitely. I lined it up. So it was. He caught it in the stride. So it was just like, if you can't, you get that type of alignment, like, most likely it's going to go.
So you're saying that when you threw it to him, you were designing it so that when he caught it, it's like a kicker on a hold, right? The laces where they were supposed to be. It was by design.
Yeah, like that. Like, you just, like, how the kicker got to put the football right. Yeah, I put it in the bread basket for him. All you had to do is just, shoot it.
Just go make a 40-footer.
Yeah.
Nothing to it, no doubt. That's awesome. Well, that was a fun game, and certainly has flipped kind of the way this thing has gone here since then. Let me talk about a sponsor real quick here on the Go Gopher podcast. Affinity Plus is your local credit union, proudly serving Minnesota since 1930. If you're a current Gopher student or a proud Gopher alum, that makes you eligible to join a financial that wants to build a meaningful banking relationship and put you first. You can meet with a local employee at any of their branches statewide, including one near campus. It's on University in Minneapolis. To learn more and find other ways to connect, go to affinityplus.org/GoGophers. That's affinityplus.org/GoGophers. Affinity Plus Federal Credit Union, federally insured by NCUA, people-centered banking, perfect for Gophers. And our thanks, as they always support Gopher student athletes. They have presented Lu'Cye with a Visa gift card for his appearance here today on our Go Gopher podcast. So our thanks to Affinity Plus. UCLA Tuesday. I know it's still a day or two away as we talk on this Sunday night. You get the first game now, and you could really make this a fun trip by getting the next game. So what's the mindset of the team now looking ahead to the Bruins?
Just knowing that they're a tough team, knowing that they're going to show respect, and not take us lightly. So just going in there, having the same intensity, the same, willingness to try to get a win. And, I feel like we're very capable of it. Just got to stay together. Like I said, when we're on the road, it's actually looking like we probably playing kind of better on the road right now than at home. But like I said, just staying together. All these road trips is just about staying together, creating your own energy, and just being positive, really, man. So that will take you a long way. Win, lose, or draw, like it's going to take you, a long way. So.
I know it's a little bit of a short turnaround. You stay out here. It's a Saturday game to a Tuesday game, so I'm sure you're being fed some of the scouting reports. So what do you kind of expect, stylistically from UCLA, if you can talk about it a little?
We haven't actually did personnel, but I just know that they're actually, when I talked to Coach Jenkins, he told me that they get their stuff off defense. They're a real good defensive team. I seen that nobody plays over 30 minutes, so they play a lot of guys, fresh bodies. So sounds like they play with a lot of intensity and a lot of aggressiveness. So sounds like we just got to take care of the ball and just get good shots and be solid on defense. I think we'll be good.
Are you? Did you grow up really following college hoops a lot? So is like playing at Poly Pavilion, which is kind of a storied building. Does that excite you?
Yeah, it does. Actually, my dad is actually flying out here. Him and my little brother get to watch me play in UCLA. So, and I played in Cameron Indoor last year. So I've been playing in some pretty cool arenas, and they got to see that too. So, you could kind of say it's like a dream come true. Playing all these cool spots, and I'm just trying to take it all in. So, and cherish all these moments.
Out of high school, you started your career at Missouri State in the Missouri Valley, then off to Charlotte to the American Athletic Conference. Take us through that journey. What was it like in Springfield, Missouri, and what was it like in Charlotte, North Carolina?
Man, 10 times difference. But Springfield was cool. College town. You win in both of those spots. It's like it's really hard to gain them fans. But had 2 good years at Missouri State. Finished top 3 each year. I think my first year it was COVID, and we finished I think 3rd. Lost in the semifinals to Drake, and then the next year did the same thing. Actually finished 2nd. And went to the NIT, lost in the semifinals to Drake. Then hit the transfer portal. Coach Ron Sanchez, I think he's the head coach of Virginia right now. Just went on a visit there. Probably that was my first visit, and he made it feel like it was really welcoming. Had some real ups and downs there though. Started to find my way towards the end. Like the same thing kind of like now towards the end of the season. Won the CBI. So finished off pretty good, had a couple good players on that team. And then that next year, my coach went to be Tony Bennett's assistant. And had to vouch for the coach that's there now, Aaron Fern, for him to get the job. Had to really talk to the AD, and it was kind of tough because I had to really keep the team together. And I'm at home calling all the guys like, yo, we should just probably, just stay, just see how things can work out. And everybody did, and we had a really good season. Finished third in American, and sold out probably like 2-3 games, the first time in like 20-something years there, and tied most conference wins there for Charlotte history. So just a good, Charlotte was like a real hard spot to leave. A lot of love was there for me, and it was just like another home for me out there. It's 2 years out there, and I didn't feel homesick at all. So it was just like I never thought I could feel like that because, when I was in Missouri, I wanted to go home every weekend.
Yeah.
So, I got a lot of love for Charlotte. Great place, great people out there that just love basketball. They're a basketball state. So, really, man, just going out there, it was really no pressure for me. I got to play my game. There was no if I didn't do good, if I didn't, it didn't really matter, because I'm not, I'm not from there. So it was just like I got there and I got my confidence all the way back to the player I am, and I'm forever grateful for actually those 2 spots. So yeah.
You were 2-time All-Conference there, and as you mentioned, had some success. So you're there 2 years, you loved it there, but what clicked to say, look, I want to try to take another step up in quality of competition and try the Big Ten and go back to my home city?
Yeah, I committed there, and then I seen Elijah Hawkins left, and I was just like, man, like it would be cool. I don't know. What's funny? I was actually looking at Dawson's page. He must have had a highlight reel, his end of the season highlight reel, and I was just like, wow, like. That's cool. Like, it's just like, I just wanted to feel like how it feels to put Minnesota on my chest, especially it's in my city, Minneapolis. So I was just watching. I'm like, wow, that looked really cool. So then 2 weeks later, next thing you know, Elijah Hawkins leaves. And I'm just like, well, still 4 more days until this portal thing ends. And I talked to my dad about it. I'm like, Dad, or he texts me. I texted him the photo, and he texts me. He's like, yeah, like, what you thinking? And I'm like, I think I might want to test this thing out. And definitely did. Got in the portal, and then Coach Ben, right away when I got in the portal, it was like, like he's like, yeah, what's he trying to do? Like, he's on it right away. So that felt really good that actually they, had interest in me coming back home. So, went on a visit, and then, Coach Ben is just like, family to me.
You've known him for a long time, right?
Yeah. I've been knowing Ben. My dad been knowing Ben since he been a kid. He been in my grandma's house, so my dad know Ben for a very long time. But, I knew Ben. I seen Ben a couple times. Ben came to see me in high school when he was assistant here at the U, and then a couple times when I was just like, they used to have some little get-togethers, from their old basketball team and stuff, because they had a pretty good team, I heard. So, knowing Coach Ben for some years, and, my dad trusting him, and, him being, knowing all my family, and he knows what, my family's about. So it was kind of like an easy decision for me. I knew he was going to, let my game, go to the next level and give me the opportunity to, do what I'm doing now. So
you have in your career now, as we speak, 1,422 career points. You have, I think, a unique skill set too, in terms of you can use your strength, your body. You've got a sneakiness to your game. You've been tough defensively. How would you describe yourself as a player? What are your strengths, and how do you make sure you capitalize on that?
Just know I'm a physical guard, pretty strong, lower base, got good balance. I can score from all 3 levels. But just kind of like, not being the most athletic guy, so having to be more crafty and, kind of be more smart, like, more higher IQ wise, just because, I'm not going in there jumping over anybody. So it's like, I got to have fakes, footwork, use angles and leverage like that. I use, that's how I really, define my game and use my game, just using all the angles I can get and all the leverage I can use to, either, score or make plays, be a playmaker. So.
Very good. I'm going to run one more sponsor question and a couple more questions for you, or one more sponsor mention and a couple more questions for Lu'Cye Patterson. Hey, ice fishing is here, although out in California, as we're here, you wouldn't see it here. But back home, I'm sure that ice is getting thick and hard again, and it's ice fishing season. That means it's time for you to hit the frozen water with OnX Fish. It's the Fish app. It's the most comprehensive fishing tool for increasing your confidence on the ice. You can use the OnX Fish app to find new places to fish. You can sort by lakes. You can sort by species, abundance, trophy, and keeper potentials. OnX Fish also shows you hot spots, lake-by-lake regulations, private and public land ownership information, and more. And right now, for a limited time, you can download the OnX Fish app for free in Minnesota and Wisconsin, and you can do that by going to onxmaps.com/fish. Get more info, find out how you can get it for free on the app, and it is changing the game on ice. OnX Maps and OnX Fish. Your dad, you mentioned your dad, Lucas, was a great player. Justin Guard, our guy that does women's basketball, and your head coach, Ben Johnson, have talked about this, that he was a handful because they were all roughly the same age going against him. And I remember Guardsy saying, Lu'Cye Patterson, is that his kid? And Ben said, yeah. And he's like, oh, man, I was scared to go play against him. Have they talked to you ever about that, about how good your dad was back in the day?
Is the Ben the news guy? Is he
Justin, guy? Yeah, Justin.
Yeah, he's the news guy? Okay, yeah. He, I think we were doing some media day stuff earlier this year, and he told me, he was like, yeah, your dad was a real problem. Like,
yeah.
So, my dad was, he got a mentality where it was just like, we're from North Minneapolis, so it's just like, we got a mentality to us where it's like a kind of like a grizzly bear, or like just that's how he is. My whole family's like that. So him just showing me his clips, from high school, college. He never got the real love that he deserved, but he every time he stepped out on the court, he showed who he was, and they used to call him a tweener, so he was like a Draymond Green type of guy, but he probably was a little more skilled, better scorer. But yeah, he worked out with the Timberwolves. Dwayne Casey wrote him a letter before he got fired to where they was probably gonna bring him to summer league, and then he played in the ABA with the rib knees. He could have went overseas, but had me at a young age at 19. So really just hung it up at 28. He had a bum ankle, just gave it up, and then started putting it all into me. So. Just cool to have a dad like that,
yeah.
And not a lot of got a lot of friends and homies that don't have their pops in their life like that. So I take full advantage of him being around, and him actually not even just being around, not being a father figure to me, just kids that he touched, and I got best friends, I got cousins, with dads that's in, the penitentiary or, in the graveyard. So it's just like, him just being around and, helping kids, he doesn't really get enough credit. I feel like, they just see him as his mentality and his
yeah.
just, but deep down, he's a good guy, man, just a loving dude, and, just wants best for, his community and people around him.
He's had a lot of positive influence then, it sounds like, on all kinds of kids and I mean, in essence, he helped start a whole school that helps,
exactly.
right? I mean, you think about it, right? With Minnesota Prep. Tell us about that.
Yeah, that was a jump off the cliff. But like I said, man, anything that, I'm with him, till I die. So it was just like, it was hard leaving Brooklyn Center, went to state, had good, that really 3 good years. I scored 1,000 points as an underclassman, so it was just like I was on my way up, and starting to get heavy interest from high major programs and stuff like that, and then some stuff went on behind the scenes where it was just like out of our control. So he was just like, we went to Tennessee actually to help kids, get them into a better situation so they can go Division I. And they proposed that thing, I think it was in Memphis, Tennessee. They proposed a prep school like in Minnesota. And my dad was like, yeah, that sounds dope. Like if we can get a schedule, why not? Like, and so jumped off, did that, took me, my 2 cousins, and my best friend, and have guy from Milwaukee, Philly, Vegas, and I think Kansas City. And we was just rolling and played all the top teams across the country. Actually did pretty good. We was in one of the top leagues in the nation called the Grind Session. They produce pros, DeAndre Ayton, Jalen Green, etc. So those are the guys you're seeing every night. So wow. Yeah, it was fun. It was like really got me ready for actually college. So like being on the road, doing school on the computer, and but it was a real fun experience. I had 2 really good years. My senior year got Offensive Player of the Year in the Grind Session with Jalen Green and all those NBA guys that was in the league. So and then just taking in all that, going to 17 states and not having to sit in a regular classroom.
Right.
I'm seeing new things, things that's eye-opening, just not just being in one state and just getting to play against the top players in the country. That was probably the best thing, really fun thing to do it actually with my best friend and my cousin. So it was just it was like a dream come true doing that.
Now you've got younger brothers playing on that team, right? Your dad's still coaching them.
Yeah, he is. They actually just got 2 big games. They won 2 big games. Where they just had. Was it D.C.? I think it was Washington, D.C., if I'm not mistaken. But, yeah, they just won 2 games. My little brother he's a problem. So, he's definitely, I don't know, he's like 5'10", but I think he has like some next 40-inch vertical or something. So, he's doing good, though. They're doing good. I'm just happy that he get to experience that experience the stuff I got to experience, and get to play against the top players in the country. And, it just makes you just a better player. So I'm happy that he gets to go through what I went through. You
mentioned that your dad had you at a young age and then was sure to be there for you. Mm-hmm. When do you remember picking up a basketball and start like, okay, I'm pretty good at this?
From what he says and what my grandma and my mom and all them told me, they said when he used to play, like I used to be like a newborn, or not a newborn, but like kind of a couple months, and they said I was like following the game, like when he was running, and like I would just like look and like just really watch.
You're watching him play.
Yeah, like I'm watching the game, and I was like, wow, that's crazy. And then they told me like I could get a basketball at a 10-foot hoop at like 2 years old, or 2 or 3. So just being around it, like, a lot of guys don't get to see their dad play, because dads be kind of old, unless you're like in the NBA or something, but, I got to see my dad play, and, I'm always around it, just always, I used to go work when he was still doing his pro stuff. Sometimes I would just, be in the gym with him, rebounding for him, passing him the ball, just things like that, I remember this vividly, like, I used to go to sleep to ESPN. Like I used to, at like 4 years old, I promise you not. I used to watch ESPN. Like I used to watch all the NBA highlights as a kid. Like I don't know. I was just like, I was into it. I really liked it. It was like nothing I really wanted to do. So, I kind of put it all, and I remember just one day my dad telling me in 8th grade, I started playing varsity. He just asked me, I think it was the day before my first ever varsity game. He just asked me, I think it was at the gym at like 6 a.m. He was just like, do you really want to like, do this? And I was just like, yeah, like it's on. So ever from there, it just took off, and, now I got little brothers and little sisters behind me, so and they all watching me. So, man, I just, I take good pride in that, and, I'm proud of myself that I'm, being a good role model for them.
Yeah, that's awesome, right? Yeah. And then you got, I saw the Shannon, I don't know if you saw the Shannon Sharp, Sterling Sharp, where Shannon Sharp was able to tell his older brother he's in the Hall of Fame. I don't know if you saw that video last week.
I seen that.
And one of the things he said, which it brought tears to my eyes a little bit, was he said that Sterling is his older brother. He goes, you had it harder because Dad was harder on you because he knew I was watching you, so he knew you had to do it right. Do you feel a little of that with maybe your dad, one, with you, but two, knowing you got younger siblings that are watching you, and I mean, you set this great path for them now.
Yeah.
And now get to play in your home city.
Yeah. Me and my dad have a strong bond, so it's like sometimes I don't even look at him as my pop. I look at him as like my big brother. So
sure.
It's like, but no, me and him have a strong bond. Definitely took a lot of yelling and, but, he picks me back up, just like any coach should. But yeah, just my little brother just getting to be there and watch me. Sometimes coming on the trips with me, watching me play against these players, he's seen it all. Like, he's like, if I don't think he ever really trained when he was little. Like, I feel like he's just like a sponge. He was just like a sponge, like, and it was cool to see because it was like, geez, like, how you get so good like that? And, like, we didn't really pay attention to him because I'm really like, he's still playing and stuff, but like, focus is really on me right now. So it was just like, wow, like seeing him, even right now, like things he's putting up 40 and like these are on like players that's going Division I next year. So it's just like, wow, like it's just crazy and it's like sad at the same time, but I'm like, it's like a sad happy, like just to see them grow and really prosper in what they do, and just him watching me and taking things from me and then learning from my dad is just it's just cool. It's a cool thing for him, and I'm happy for him that he gets that. And then actually my little sister too, so she's a baller, so she's right under us. So
yeah, that's awesome. You got your degree from Charlotte, so you're now I guess a grad transfer, so to speak. So one, what was your degree, and from there, and two, how do you what do you have going on school wise now?
Communications degree with a minor in American Studies, and then here I'm getting my master's in sports management, and did everything I needed to do the first semester, so just trying to buckle down. I got probably I think Kyle told me 7 more weeks until I graduate, so just trying to stay on top of that. So.
Think about that, right? Master's degree, undergraduate degree, basketball, taking you to California and all these other places.
Yeah.
I mean, it's got to be amazing, right?
Yeah, I would never have thought I would have got 2 degrees. So it's just I think I'm probably the first one in my family to ever get 2 degrees. So just feels good to do that, and, a lot, like I said, where I'm from, like, kids don't get this opportunity, and like I said, I'm just very grateful and just happy to where I am as a young man right now.
Last one for you. When you hang around with your teammates, you said Femi was your roommate. What do you guys do when you're not talking about basketball or practicing or lifting weights? What do you do to kind of get basketball off your mind? What are your hobbies or music likes or anything like that?
We just play the game. We'll probably once or twice go to Mystic Lake.
Nice.
Probably do that.
Yeah.
just to get out of the house. Get away from the city. Sometimes go out, kick it with the guys. Just regular college things. But,
are you a gamer, video gamer at all?
Yeah, a little bit. I like playing the NCAA football games.
Yeah.
I'm a real big gamer on that. But usually we really just be chilling. I'm a big family guy, so sometimes I'll go home. Femi will come with me, or we'll watch college basketball, and just kick it with the guys. Yeah, so nothing too much.
So Femi spent some of his younger years in St. Cloud. Did you know him then, or is it just now that you've gotten to know him in the last year?
I know people that know him, but I never. I think because he left so early, like he left in 6th grade, or something like that. But If he probably stayed, I probably would have knew who he was. Just knew about him. But.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if in youth basketball you guys crossed paths over the years or nothing. Well, very good. Well, man, it's been fun learning more about you. It's been fun watching your season unfold. You guys are 5-3 in the last 8, and let's go get UCLA on Tuesday night.
Yes, sir. Let's get them Bruins, man.
All right, very good. There he is, Lu'Cye Patterson. It's episode 159 from Los Angeles.
My thanks to Golden Gopher basketball player Lu'Cye Patterson of Minneapolis. He's been red hot of late, and the Gophers are playing well. My thanks to him for joining me here in California for this week's podcast. I hope you enjoyed hearing from him as much as I enjoyed chatting with him. Episode 159 is presented by Sunbelt Business Advisors and True North Mergers and Acquisitions. If you're buying or selling a business, visit sunbeltminnesota.com or tnma.com. We're also partnered with Affinity Plus Federal Credit Union, a locally member-owned full-service financial invested in you. You can learn more at affinityplus.org/Go Gophers. That's affinityplus.org/Go Gophers. Affinity Plus, banking for Minnesotans. OnX Maps also sponsors our show. Happy fishing. Again, I'd invite you to listen to past podcasts, and please right now click the subscribe button to the Go Gopher Podcast. It's absolutely free to subscribe and absolutely free to listen at any time. And please share the link to the podcast with others so they can subscribe and listen as well. And if you enjoyed the podcast, please let us know that. Give us some positive feedback on your social media channels. We'll talk again next week.